Hi there, it's Louise with you of Timeless Craft Mama, and today I'd like to share a project that I've created for my position on A2Z Scraplets design team. Now what I've done is I've made a Christmas decorating piece, and I'm going to show you through the steps to create either something the same or similar to this using some of those delicious A2Z Scraplets chipboard products. So what I've done is I've started with a blank canvas, and I've also got some of these smaller canvas panels. I've selected a few items from my stash, so Christmas products and papers and ranges. Now you'll see that the foundation piece for this layout is that it is the season to sparkle, and that is what I based this entire layout on. So I've cut these papers into those square panels and laid them out. I'm just sort of playing around with some of the placement and where I'm going to put things, and I'm also going to use those canvas panels. Now off camera I've gone ahead and stuck them down, and I've applied some clear gesso over the top. Then I've used my distress crayon all around the outside of the panels, and that's just to give a little bit of a definition to some of the areas on this particular canvas. So once that's all set and dried and I'm happy, I'm going to apply some distress grit paste, and that is going to give me a little bit of extra texture and definition. Now you'll see some of these elements that I'm adding are just things that I've picked up from the discount store. So they're actually Christmas tree decorations, and they're on hanging ribbons, so I've just used them. Some of them I've cut the ribbons off and some of them I haven't. So I wanted this piece to be quite textural. That's why I've raised some of these elements up on cardboard. Some of them I've just glued on the page. You see there that I've added one of those canvas blocks with some ribbon, really just to give some extra interest and to be able to add to this piece. So I'm working on this piece and I'm thinking it just needs a little bit of extra red. It's got a bit of neutral, it's got a little bit of the gold, it's got a bit of sparkle, but I just wanted to sort of give it that red touch, just so it has more of a Christmas feel to it. So I'm just roughly spreading around my distress crayons with some water, again in those squares, just to add a little bit of extra interest. Now this product that I'm using is a Shimmer's Creamies, and it's really vibrant colour. So I'm just applying it with a paintbrush, and you use water just to activate it, and I'm applying it with a paintbrush. The more water you add, obviously the thinner the colour, but when it dries it has this real golden sheen to it, so it gives a really interesting extra element to this page. So you can see I've done a little bit with the paintbrush, and I've done a little bit of splatters, and I've also done just a little bit spreading around with my finger. Now when I started this particular canvas, I showed you some pieces that I'd chosen from A2Z Scraplets, and it wasn't quite what I had in mind for this layout, so I swapped out one of those for this flag banner, and I really like how this flag banner looks with the gold embossing on it as well. So I'm showing you this process. I could have edited it, I could have edited it out, but I thought I'd leave it in there because I love the way heat embossing looks when it's sped up. So I just, fun little thing for you there. So now that I'm pretty happy with the placement, the background, I'm going to glue on some of these extra elements. So I've pulled out some gold leaves from my stash, and I've also got these, I think they're called Glisten from Kaiser Craft. It's their one of their 2016 Christmas ranges. So I'm using some of the collectible items from that. Now some of them I'm going to pop up on foam squares, some of them I'm just going to glue straight onto the canvas. It's just a matter of taste, whatever your preference is, whether you like something that's quite flat or whether you like to have that extra element of being a bit raised up off the page. So going down these final elements, and again these canvas flowers were quite plain. They were from the local discount store as well, and I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with them, whether I was going to leave them plain, whether I was going to paint them. I could have used the gold creamies, I could have used distress crayon. But in the end, you'll see what I actually do is use just some matte gel and some gold glitter, just to add a little bit of extra touch of gold. They didn't need a lot of extra adding to. I think they help balance out the canvas just by their sort of, I hate to use the word, but plainness. So there's lots of things to look at on this canvas, and I didn't really want, the eye to be overwhelmed by looking at it. Now, I also don't think I mentioned earlier in the video that the A2Z Scraplets chipboard I've used in the beginning is actually foiled with the Mink machine. So I've popped that through the Mink, and provided your chipboard is not terribly thick, I don't know the exact dimensions, but you can foil chipboard. You don't want to foil the really thick stuff, but this particular chipboard is lovely and thin, so delicate, and it went through that Mink machine quite okay, and I love that beautiful gold shimmer that it has. So the final steps in this particular canvas project for me is just to add that little touch of gold glitter. I'm also going to use that same heat embossing powder, but I'm actually not going to heat emboss it because it's got this beautiful gold shimmer, so I just want to leave that plain. I don't actually want to heat emboss it. Then I've gone ahead and let all that dry naturally overnight, and I've added backing ribbon to the back of my canvas to hang the piece and popped it up in my home. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for joining me for the 12 days of Christmas. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out A2Z Scraplets for lots of great chippy products, and come back for more 12 days of Christmas. Thanks!